So I remember a time when a young Michael would go to the TV and not even know some of his favorite anime were in fact anime. And why would I not know, you ask, or not? Well, just commit to the bit, okay? I know you probably don't care, but commit to the bit. Okay, so why would I not know, you ask? Well, back in the day, some of these anime had English openings, aka the theme song for these anime when broadcasted on English television were in good old-fashioned English. Now, darker reasons for why they were a thing and have largely disappeared aside, because this isn't that kind of video. Xenophobia. Ignorance. It's a shame we don't get English anime openings on the regular anymore because some of these openings were straight gas. I mean, yes, enjoying the musical stylings of artists like Flo, Nico Touches the Walls, and Lisa before watching a good anime is an experience unlike any other, but some of these English anime openings deserve all the love. So I figured we make a list ranking these amazing English anime openings. Now, a couple ground rules. First of all, I'm limiting it to one opening of franchise, otherwise there will be a couple series on here that could dominate the entire list. And two, well, this is more of an explanation, but this list is based not just on how good the song of the opening is, but how well the opening in its entirety, so that includes the visuals, worked with the show to set the tone for what you're about to watch. Okay, with all that out of the way, buckle in and trade your konnichiwa for a hello! Here are the top 10 best English anime openings of all time. But first, be a bro and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. At number 10, we got Bakugan. So this is the first Kodomo, or at least Kodomo adjacent anime on the list, and let me tell you, it's definitely not the last. Honestly, this might be on the list because of the Two Worlds Collides part. I was in your head. Two worlds collide on the inside. So good. But even still, I think what it also has going for it is that it's actually a pretty good tone setter for the show. Unfortunately, the visuals don't really do it for me, so depending on my mood, this might actually slip to an honorable mention on some iterations of my list. But today, it's at the number 10 spot. At number 9, Dragon Ball Z. So, to be clear, I'm talking about the American version of this theme. The Canadian version is kind of the same minimalist idea as the American theme, but doesn't quite hit the same. And to be honest, if we're keeping it a whole stack, the American theme is kind of overrated. I've seen some creators put it as high as number 2 on their list of not just best English anime openings of all time, but best anime openings of all time, and that is a hell of a reach. With that being said, despite the fact that this song is incredibly lazy, it's also incredibly catchy. Yes, I do have some nostalgia goggles on, and I'll admit that, okay, I am partial, but it's very catchy in its minimalist attitude, and it definitely deserves a spot. That mantra of Dragon Ball Z. It just hits. Add the guitar in the back, and it just gets you ready to see some Z Fighters kick some ass. Number 7, Knights of Zodiac / Saint Seiya. So what's interesting about this English anime opening is that they basically follow the Japanese blueprint on how to do a fire intro. Think about it. What do Japanese anime studios do for their opening? They basically get an established artist in Japan to give them a song to use for their opening, and the artists do it because they know that's the most exposure they'll get in Western countries. Well, what the English dub team for Knights of Zodiac did is they got Bowling for Soup, who at the time were enjoying their most famous success they ever had up to that point, or since, to do an intro song for this show. Bowling for Soup then proceeds to do an awesome cover of the hit classic song by Flock of Seagulls, I Ran, and the rest was history. The nostalgia here is kicking in because this show was awesome. Great English anime opening. Moving on, number 7, Sonic X. So, funny story about this theme. A couple years back, I was doing media at Anime North for a friend, and there was this DJ and dance crew called Anime Nightclub 3, who decided to have an impromptu party outside the official Anime North rave because their set for the rave was the day before, and since they were staying an extra night, they decided, let's party. Which, I can't lie, was way more turnt than the actual official Anime North rave. The best way to describe them is, what if a DJ that played hip-hop, Afrobeats, dancehall, and soca found a way to mix anime in there without it sounding too corny or cringy. I know I'm kind of glazing a bit, but as a blurred who also likes his Afrobeats and dancehall, I really appreciated it. And considering the fact that Anime North is about 5 minutes away from the predominantly black area that is Rexdale, aka the Rex, their style was definitely appreciated that night. So, how does this relate to the Sonic X English opening? Alright, let me tell you. So, the song that got the loudest reaction that night wasn't any of the soca joints, wasn't any of the Afrobeat songs, wasn't any of the new hip hop that was out at the time. It was actually, and I mean this, honest to God, hand on the Bible, the Sonic X English anime opening theme song. It got replayed over and over again because the crowd demanded it and they were going crazy due to the chorus. That's how good this song is. Now granted, usually and on that night, people like the remix version of the Sonic theme because to me it suffers from the Bluebird problem where people like the remix of these themes due to the fact that the chorus of the theme songs are so malleable that they forget about the actual theme song itself. But yeah, the Sonic X English anime openings chorus is straight fire, and for that it's in the well-deserved number 7 spot. Number 6, Yu-Gi-Oh! So I was really tempted to put the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Get Your Game On theme here instead, because sonically it is a better song to me, but I ultimately decided on the original Yu-Gi-Oh! English theme because it's minimalism done right, and I think fit better for their show than Get Your Game On did for GX. It's basically what would happen if you took the Dragon Ball Z blueprint, but actually go for the minimalist mantra on purpose, rather than slap something together, which I believe Dragon Ball Z's English anime opening team did. The result that you get when you actually care is... It's time to do. This theme is so memorable and so catchy that everyone to this day, whether a huge anime fan or a seldom anime watcher, will do the "it's time to duel" because of how ear-catching it is. Add the great visuals with the opening song, and this English anime opening will always get you ready for an episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Alright, number 5, Shaman King. So hot take, but the Shaman King theme might be the best song on the list. This song from top to bottom is a bop, and you cannot convince me otherwise. First of all, it comes in right from the jump with this opening riff that kills. Then the vocals are heat, including that Shaman King part of the chorus. And then my boys take me to church with this heater of a bridge. Also, it's not like this is a case of good song, bad visuals. The visuals are heat too. I will hear no slander about this opening. It's a fire opening. Fight me. This song, and by extension this opening, is in my top 5 and should be in your top 5 too. Number 4, Beyblade. So if Shaman King is the best theme song on the list, Beyblade is my favorite opening on the list. Now, song-wise, this opening is just okay, but I love how committed the overall opening was to the themes and the aesthetic of the show. Okay, let me back up a bit. So Beyblade's English dub was actually done by Nelvana, a Canadian company owned by Chorus Entertainment, aka the people behind YTV, aka the people who made Bionics a thing, aka the reason why Canadian people love anime to death. Now, for reasons I can't discuss here because it's a list video, Canadian companies are way more hampered resource-wise to put out a great dub as opposed to their American counterpart. Also, Beyblade being a Kodomo was severely hampered by censorship of certain topics. But the one thing this dub, and by extension Canadian companies do, better than its original voicing cast and by extension everybody else, is the commitment to a theme and aesthetic. Now, in regard to Beyblade, what they were going for was a teen angst aesthetic. The cast and crew over at Nelvana really gave off that feeling without breaking the censorship rules, and they did a great job of it due to their work ethic. It's because of this that I will forever die on the hill that Beyblade's voice acting is sneaky good and the soundtrack was even better. So believe me when I say the opening for this show was the magnum opus of this hard work shining through. It's just so cohesive and works to get you in the mood for the rest of the show. To me, the way to describe Beyblade's dub and English soundtrack is greater than the sum of its parts, and its opening is in the exact same boat. Number 3, Sailor Moon. Okay, it's time to separate the men from the boys. Well, in this case, it's the teenage girls from the... I don't know, but you get the point. What even is this analogy? I'm so sorry, y'all. So Sailor Moon's English anime opening is what happens when you get the catchy rhythm Dragon Ball Z and Yu-Gi-Oh were going for in their theme, but also get that fun committal to the show's tone Beyblade gave us in their theme. Now, yes, they did technically just take the Japanese opening and make an English version of it, but there's something to how they did it from a work ethic perspective than others. Say what you will about Sailor Moon's English dub, and trust me, it's already been said, but the one thing you can't convince me of is that the cast and crew didn't have fun with it, because it shows. There is a lot of love and care, and the theme song is the same way. Yes, it's silly and goofy, but it's also cute, charming, and earnest. That's what I think the show was trying to be, at least early on before the powers got insane. It's a travesty that the reboot didn't have a version of this English anime opening. Alright, number 2, Yu Yu Hakusho. So, I think we can all agree this English anime opening is flames, and I'm conflicted because, yes, it's probably one of, if not the laziest intro on the list, but it's also just a banger. Okay, let me explain. So, back in the day, where English anime openings reigned supreme, there were dubs that would just basically pull an Amelie, where they would take the instrumental of Japanese openings and make an English version. Except unlike Amelie, these dub teams actually had the rights to the official instrumental, so they didn't have to change it up besides the lyrics. Examples are Case Closed, aka Detective Conan, some of the early Funimation One Piece dub English anime openings, and the opening of the anime that holds the number 3 spot on this list, Sailor Moon. But I don't think there is an anime this worked out for more than Yu Yu Hakusho, despite the fact that it's clearly a lazier attempt at making an English version of an opening than the aforementioned Sailor Moon. In my opinion, the reason why that is because the theme's musical genre is Japanese city pop, which has proven itself to be timeless due to the fact that it's an offshoot of a lot of the soul and funk music in the Western world, and that has also proven to be timeless. Anyway, as a result, Yu Yu Hakusho's opening is probably a song you could legit play anywhere. Yes, the process for how this was made is a bit lazy in comparison to some of the other English anime openings on this list, but a banger is still a banger. Alright, and number 1, Pokemon. You knew it was gonna be this one. To be clear, we're talking about the opening that features the legendary classic song Gotta Catch 'Em All by Jason Page. But let's be honest, you already knew which one it was. Now, to be fair, remember when I said some anime were gonna dominate the list if I didn't limit it to one a franchise? This is the one anime I had in mind when I said that. Pokemon used to come correct with English anime openings, which is a testament to how good this one is, as still, to this day, this is the English anime opening gold standard, where everyone young and old remember. To me, the best way to describe why this is number one is that this anime opening is what I like to call the full package. The song is great sonically. The opening has amazing visuals. The song is catchy. The song has replay value. The song is so memorable and such a cultural phenomenon that I have legit heard DJs use this song as a transition in parties. And I'm not talking like anime parties. No, I'm talking actual go to the club, nightclub parties. There is no discussion, and this isn't a matter of opinion. This is the best English anime opening of all time, and it will more than likely stay that way. And that's the list. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, also leave a comment. All these things help me out a ton. Matter of fact, comment below your favorite English anime openings. I really want to hear your opinion on some of your favorites. Alright, until next time, you'll get another video, and see you soon.